I guess at the end of the day, man, the thing that makes a game good is how it reacts to you, right? Like, real talk, that's what makes a game good. I've thought about this a lot, too. It's, like, you know what I mean? Whether that's because a character cries when you do something, or like, they have a meaningful moment, or they make a funny joke and you think they're cool, right? Or they just do something interesting. Like, end of the day, dude, who the hell does this guy think he is? The hell, man? Or let's say GTA, like GTA, right? So would you say GTA is a good open world then? Right? Because my problem is, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, you could argue that Cyberpunk is not like GTA and that you can't just like go bowling. But my argument would be like, bro, who the fuck gives a shit? I'm gonna be honest here, chat. If I can bowl. Like, are you chat? Are we actually gonna all sit here and act like we all spent hours bowling in Grand Theft Auto and it was so fun? Like, no, chat, no, it was not. It was not that fun. Are we gonna act like after the 4th police chase in Grand Theft Auto it didn't get old? Are we actually gonna act like that didn't get old after the 4th time? Like, chat, this is how you play GTA. You go play GTA for an hour. You kill a stripper. You get hunted down by the police, and then you go, okay, well, I'm done. And then you play the campaign once, and it's a good campaign, you're like, and it's short, and you're like, that's fine. But then you don't play anymore, you know? There's, like, but the campaign isn't as good as, like, Cyberpunk and the characters, right? Like, that's my argument. Like, no, I don't think any of that shit even matters. Like, I don't know why people act like that shit. It's like in Assassin's Creed. Do you guys know in Assassin's Creed you have to climb to the goddamn top of all these stupid hills just so you can get the cool little, like, and, like, you see the vision? It's like, no, that was cool the first time. Like, holy shit, like, I don't want to do this 100 times, Assassin. That's why I stopped playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I was like, dude, I can't do this. Like, oh my, like, no, dude, I'm not going to go find your little treasure chest that just has a gold coin under this hill. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, no. Like I hate that games keep doing this, dude. Like, I want games to focus on things that actually matter, dude. I don't want to go bowling. I don't want to go to the top of your hill. I don't want to find this stupid little coin that doesn't have any story attached to it. You know, for no reason, just so I can say I 100% achievement on this game, you know? Like, I want actually good characters, actually good story, actually good gameplay, like Deus Ex, where you make meaningful RPG decisions on that meaningfully affect how you play the game, where like in Cyberpunk, where you want to be a hacker, or a stealthy person, or go in guns blazing, or talk your way through shit, right? Like those are the kind of decisions I want to make, right? Do you guys like Breath of the Wild's open world? I played it a little bit and I love it. That's the exact style of game I'm saying I love. I think Breath of the Wild is like genius. I think that's exactly what open world should be. It should be an open world with a lot of systems that interact with each other and not just boring, meaningless bullshit that I don't want to go through, dude. You know, like, I don't want to hop off my 9-to-5 job, chat, and then spend 3 hours just getting this. Like, you want to know what? You want to know the problem with RPGs nowadays? They're like Albion. And you might be going, but Frank, I thought you liked Albion. I do. But you want to know why I like Albion? Because it's an online, massively multiplayer game with guilds that fight each other. Chat, why the hell would I want to just go through all these meaningless dungeons? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, imagine if this was a single-player game. Bro, who gives a fuck? I don't want to go through your generic random dungeon to fight people and find a random gold coin at the end. Like, what? I don't even care about gearing up that much. Like, dude, the reason I like it in Albion is because it's a massively multiplayer game. I get to go shit-talk guilds, man. If I get better gear, I can go into PvP. I can go shit-talk those guilds, man. I have, like, friends on, and I can show off my gear, right, and duel them, and we get to build the guild up together. Like, bro, I don't want that in my single-player story. I want character, story, meaningful progression, RPG elements, you know, like characters that react to what I do. Like, I don't want to go find your random treasure chest that doesn't do anything. Like, why? You know, I used to love that stuff, but as I've gotten older, I'm just like I loved it until I was about 23. And when I hit 23 and like I was getting like my first full-time jobs and stuff, I guess 22, right? I was like, dude, like, I just can't be bothered, you know? Like, that's when my gaming kind of likes changed a little bit. Things should be meaningful, man. Like, there shouldn't just be all these random, I don't know, man. The older I get, the less I like it when games waste my time. And I'll agree with you. I think open worlds a lot of times kind of just waste the player's time. Like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, me and Bushy both don't like the game, is a perfect example. I do not know how people like that game. I think they're actually crazy. Like all those reviewers that are like, this game's amazing. I'm like, are you insane? I'm like, do you just not value your time at all? I'm like, you liked sitting there for 100 hours and doing the same exact climbing the hill every fucking time, dude. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Like, sorry, like that was a little dramatic, but you know what I mean? It's like you want to climb the same hill every time. You want to find the same exact treasure piece that doesn't actually unlock any super long quest that's really interesting every time. Like, are we actually going to act like that's fun? I'm like, why would you rather do that instead of play Valorant or instead of playing Mass Effect or Cyberpunk, where it's like you get like an engaging story the whole way through, you know? And you're like on the edge of your seat. I don't know. When I was younger, I liked that stuff more. The thing I like about Skyrim is I love the idea of leveling your character up. There's, you know, you can choose how to level your character up. You can be an archer. You can be a blank, blank, blank. The reason I didn't like Assassin's Creed is like I didn't feel like I could do that. Like, yeah, you can sneak around, but like you don't really make your own character. You're always just Eivor in the Assassin's Creed I played. You're always whatever character you are. You aren't forging your own path. In Skyrim, you forge your own path, right? You create your own story, which I love. That's why I love in open world games. Like, don't get me wrong. I like open world games. I just don't like when open world games treat me like my time is just a complete waste, you know? And it's like, fuck, why am I even here, right? But I'll give you guys an example. When I play Valorant, it's kind of like, in theory, for me, I guess, like, you know, it's not like what's the point, right? Like, why am I trying to get good Valorant? It's not like I'm trying to go pro. I don't want to go pro, right? So like, what's the point of me even getting better? But the counter to that is like, yeah, but you're like leveling up in the rank system. You're getting better at the game. You're besting people that would best you before. You're improving, right? Like you would improve at anything else. But the problem with Assassin's Creed Valhalla and a lot of these other open world games is like, what's the fucking point? You know, like, what's the point? If I'm not going to get this amazing story that I got in, say, Mass Effect, and I'm not going to get to choose, and I'm going to get to define my character and make really interesting dialogue choices that affect the game, what's the point? You know? Like, really think about that. Like, why? Like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I... In Assassin's Creed, why do I climb to the top of all these hills just so I can get... you know, so I can unlock all the new parts of the area? Just so I can go find treasure chests that are just like all the other treasure chests I always found, and it's not unique. You know? Like, what stopped me playing games like Valhalla is I just finally was like, why am I here? You know? Like, why? Why would I do this? You know? Why don't I go play Mass Effect and actually get a good story and like, and then I get to level up my character how I want and I get like interesting new shit. But what are your guys' thoughts on that though? Because, and here's the thing, just because I have that opinion doesn't mean like, if you like those games, that's a bad thing. You know, like some people just like the grind, man, the feeling of success because you found all the hills. I get that. I've felt that before too, you know? Like when I really like a game, I feel that way. Like with Cyberpunk, I was just doing all these random achievements just because I liked the game, even though otherwise I would have been like, why the fuck am I doing this? These aren't even that fun. Like after I'd beaten the game, right? All these like random, like just like weird, not the other side missions, but like these random crap, right? It's like, why am I even here? Oh my God, my guy does so much damage, dude, with the upgrade. Let's go, boys. Oh, that almost killed me, actually. I mean, that's a perfect example. It's another Ubisoft. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't like Ubisoft open world games, which I think a lot of people have talked about recently, right? I like open world games. I just don't like the Ubisoft formula where it's like I feel like nothing I'm doing matters and I don't care about the characters or the story enough to actually care. And my character isn't customizable enough to make me like want to make some crazy build that makes me feel unique. You know, I guess I just don't really get the Ubisoft formula. I get the Bethesda one where it's like, you know, discovering new lands and like interesting mysteries and shit. I get that. But the Ubisoft one, I don't know. I don't know if I fully back it yet. There has to be some sort of hook in an open world, and I just don't get those in Ubisoft open worlds, man. You know, something has to draw me in. In Mass Effect, that was the characters and the story. Because I didn't even like the gameplay even at the time that much. You know, I didn't really give a shit. People always complained about it, and I didn't really even care because I was like, this could be the worst gameplay ever for all I care. I just like the game. But there's got to be something, right? And yeah, for me in Ubisoft, it's just not there. I think the key to an open world, like I said, final thoughts, is the world has to feel like it matters. And what I mean by that is whether that means the world's reacting to you, or whether it feels like the world is lived in, or whether it feels like how you change your build affects how you interact with the world. The important part to an open world is that it it makes you feel impactful. Otherwise, why was it an open world in the first place? Why not just create a handcrafted linear campaign that, you know, strings you along play by play? And a few examples of that are right. In Cyberpunk, I'll actually give an example with the combat. I think one of the things that Cyberpunk does great in the open world is the combat. So for example, if I'm a stealthy character, I feel very stealthy. Like, obviously, right? It feels like Deus Ex. I can crawl into different spots. I can evade combat. And I can get, you know, headshots and take out people without them even knowing I was there. But here's an even better example. So in oh fuck, I just pulled the boss. F's to chat, boys. So in Cyberpunk, right? There's actually, oh fuck. There's an upgrade you can get that lets you double jump. And that doesn't sound that crazy on the offset. You're like, okay, cool, like you can double jump. I mean, that sounds okay. You know, like sounds decent. But that's not the amazing part, dude. The amazing part about the double jump is it changes fundamentally how you interact with the world. When you get double jump, you can literally go to spots in the world that you could never have gone before. You can get to ledges to then attack different missions in ways I didn't even know was possible. You can literally climb around the world like a fucking orangutan. Just instead of driving, you just run around, flying across all the buildings, double jumping. Like it completely, you can jump over fences that were blocking you from getting into certain spots. You can just jump over them. When I first played Cyberpunk, I thought those spots were blocked off. Nope, you just get double jump. You just jump right over. Now there's a whole nother part of the map I thought was blocked off, right? That's what makes open world special. If you guys understand what I'm saying, that's the key that separates a bad open world from a good one, you know. And in Assassin's Creed, man, you know, the characters, yeah, that's fine. They have some decent characters in Valhalla, nothing special, not interesting enough to keep me there. But more importantly, nothing I'm doing matters, you know. Like it doesn't matter. I can't go to my group and say, you know what, guys, we're staying in Norway. We're not going to England. We need to help our people. Then the story just doesn't continue. It stops. It goes, okay, you're done. You know, when I go to the top of these hills and discover everything around me, the world's not reacting to me. It's just some stupid little thing I have to do that's pointless, right? It's just something I have to cross off a checklist. You know, it's not like a good open world, for example, would say, okay, we have this world, and there's bandit camps all over the world. And they're randomly spawned, maybe we handcrafted and put them there, right? They're all over the world, and each bandit camp has, you know, different leaders, etc., etc. Kind of like Shadow of Mordor. And every time you go attack those bandit camps and you take one out, it affects the world, you know? So, you know, like in Shadow of Mordor, when the enemies react to you, you know, the bosses remember you, and if you kill them, they might come back from the dead and try to fight you off, and they'll talk about it, right? Or, you know, in other games, you know, when you take out a town, it affects the economy, right? So maybe you take out a town or a bandit camp, and that affects the local economy because maybe the bandits were the fishers for the local town, and now that you killed them, it affects the economy. That's what makes a good open world, 100%, because it makes it feel like things you're doing matter. Because when you're making a linear game, everything you are doing matters because everything's pre-planned. Which is fine. You can make a great game. Call of Duty campaigns are fun, shit. I don't care what you say. Like, you know what I mean? Some people like shit in COD, but they have fun campaigns, dude. It's like playing a Hollywood movie, right? And that's fun. That's fine. They're linear, but that's fine. Recent one was a little different, but with an open world game, man, what makes it special is you're living and breathing in a different world. The whole thing is that the world needs to meaningfully react to things you do. When you change your combat, when I changed my combat in Cyberpunk to double jump, and I was able to jump over that obstacle that I thought was just blocked off a complete part of the map, I was like, oh, like, that's cool. That's what open worlds are about. Like it completely changed the game because of a decision I made. Or like, I remember in Dragon Age Inquisition a little bit, like you different towns you would attack would really affect the world and like characters and like how they would talk to you. That's what matters in an open world. When I make a dialogue choice and the character remembers that and the world changes because of that choice, that's what matters. When I get the decision to save the town or kill everyone in the town because they were mean to me or some shit, you know, because I'm a little whiny baby, that's the shit that makes open worlds good, bro. Like that's what makes you remember an open world, because at the end of the day, if you don't get decisions like that matter and influence the world around you, why even have a world around you in the first place? Why not just have a linear story that you can tell just like a book or a movie, right? Which can be great, like I said. And I just don't think Ubisoft open world games do that well at all. I think the Ubisoft open world games focus on things like gather these collectibles, you know, look at this cool new area. Like it's not things like the world doesn't change around you, right? They've been getting better. Keep in mind, the recent games have been getting better, but I just don't like that. I think that formula is the antithesis of what makes a great game. And like I said, I've never been a huge fan of Skyrim, but but what they did do great is like you could change your build and the world, you walked around and you discovered new things and the world, like the world felt lived in too. It's about the world reacting to you and the world feeling lived in and feeling like a real place, right? With the real reactions. Eventually there has to be some meaning to the world. And that's why I say a good open world reacts to you, because that's where you find meaning in an open world. In a linear game, you find it in the pre-planned, spectacle of it all. In a multiplayer game, competitive multiplayer game, you find it in getting better and working at Valorant every day and improving on your aim and ranking up and feeling like you're improving, right? In a co-op multiplayer game, you find it in the friendships you form and the storylines you create with friends together. But in single player RPGs, dude, it's got to be the world, man, the characters, like the things that interact with you around it. They can't just be these generic things that like fetch quests, right? Everything can't be a fetch quest. At some point, you've got to figure out why you're there. I think a perfect example actually is you guys know Valheim, right? That game that's blowing up, right? It has like 3 million people bought it. It's blowing up on Twitch, one of the biggest games on Twitch right now, Valheim or whatever. I said that weird the first time. But think about it, man. Why do you think Valheim's so popular where a lot of other survival games didn't get as popular? I think a lot of it is there's a goal. Like you're trying to beat the 5 bosses. You're not just fucking randomly running around in a single player sandbox just getting material and building random shit and being like, why the fuck am I even here? You know, it's because you're like, I want to kill the 5 bosses. Like I want to see the new biome. Like, whoa, the new biome, and the new biome's actually interesting. It tells a story. There's different monsters. Like there's a different boss, like and like different things you can find and craft, right? There's meaningful change. Not just, hey, we made another hill you can climb, but hey, we made an entirely new biome with new characters, new monsters, new engagements, new things to craft. Like, that's what it's all about, man. And that's why I like Cyberpunk, because even though it is a more linear experience, what makes that great is that the moments matter, right? Like, every moment with those characters feels like it actually matters, right? It's not just some pointless bullshit I'm doing. Everything on the story makes sense. There's not any fetch quests, right? I never have to just be like, why the hell is this mission here? Like, oh my god, like they're just trying to like, make me go on these pointless missions. That way the game's 20 hours longer and everyone can be like, it was worth my money because I played 60 hours of this game, right? That's just totally not true, man. I would much rather play 5 hours of a phenomenal experience than 20 of one where I was like, why were those 15 hours there? You know?